Tonight at 9, gun range shooting. One man suffering serious injuries in Montgomery County today. What do we know at this hour? And the scene from the skies. Up in flames, an Amazon delivery van scorched in Arlington. What officials believe started the blaze after smoke billowed high into the air.
And it was another hot to muggy afternoon with a couple of showers out there. Those showers and storms have dwindled quite a bit. We'll show you the latest radar and talk about temperatures for your Monday morning commute coming up.
Turn it down? D.C. residents sound off on loud mufflers and revving engines in one neighborhood. How they hope City Hall can lower the noise. Summer savings from the 4th of July to outdoor gear and discounts for veterans. We're stretching your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. We begin tonight with breaking news. Firefighters were shot at in an apparent sniper attack in Idaho today. Local authorities say that 2 people believed to be first responders are dead. Police are actively facing gunshots. That's according to law enforcement in Coeur d'Alene in northwest Idaho. They say rapid bullets from high-powered rifles are being used. It's all happened this afternoon. Firefighters were shot at a mountainside while responding to a fire. Local sheriff just told reporters they don't know if there is more than one shooter, but suggested there may be. Adding, on top of those 2 people who were killed, an unknown number of more people hurt. Shelter in place is in effect right now as police are also trying to get innocent civilians off of that mountain. Idaho Governor Brad Little saying, quote, "This is a heinous direct assault on our brave firefighters." He's asking for prayers and urging people to stay away from the area. Stay with us as this breaking story continues to develop. Back to your local news and new tonight. Frederick County, Maryland police say one of their officers shot at a driver after they allegedly drove toward that cop early this morning. Frederick police say they got a report of a suspicious vehicle in Mulberry Court, which is just north of Route 70, around 3 a.m. We're told police spotted the vehicle, tried to pull the driver over, but they eventually stopped in a cul-de-sac. That's when police say the officer got out of his cruiser, gave verbal commands, but the driver sped up toward that officer. That's when the officer shot at the driver 4 times, but the driver got away, apparently ditched the vehicle nearby. The officer is on leave, which is standard during police shootings. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Well, check out these intense flames that ripped through a house in Montgomery County today. And humid conditions, no doubt, proving problematic for first responders there. This happened on Pepper Ridge Way, just off Washington Grove Lane, around 7 this morning. Now, officials believe the fire was related to an unused charcoal grill on the house's porch. A family of 4 living there is without a home. Thankfully, no injuries reported. Officials say the damages estimated to cost $1 million. Happening today, day number 1 for Metrobus brand new network, including all new names for routes, some being eliminated altogether. WMATA says the change is long overdue and it will add efficiency here at home. However, the change can be confusing for commuters. Each bus will have a new number and letter. The letter will signify the area the bus serves. WMATA says that the signs at each bus station will tell you the old routes and the new ones. Officials say the revised service will offer enhanced service with roughly 5% fewer stops. Some good news about the change. Fares have not gone up because of all of this. And a reminder for Metro train riders on the Blue Line. The Franconia, Springfield, and Van Dorn Street stations will close July 5th through the 26th. That's for scheduled maintenance. It's there will be free shuttle buses to replace the trains. WMATA says parking there will be free. Well, it doesn't cost a dime anymore, and it won't cost us a pretty penny to get your local forecast. Scott Sumner standing by. How are we feeling right now out there,
Well,
Scott?
I'm going to direct you to some temperatures here that are in the 80s, both the actual temperature and the feels like temperature, with some rain in the forecast as we speak in parts of the viewing area. 82 degrees is what is the thermometer reading, but what it feels like is 88, near 90 degrees at 9 o'clock in the evening. You can see here our radar and satellite over the last 6 hours has shown showers and storms off to the south of the district, but eventually that started to move in here around 8 o'clock or so, and we've had on and off scattered light rain across the area. Nothing too heavy. There's no reds or yellows in the color scheme as we speak, and the lighter the rain, the greener it becomes across the area. So that's what we have currently, and we'll have those showers move in and out of here. So June 30th, you step outside here. Let's open up that door and see what we have here for tomorrow morning. Yeah, it could be some patchy fog taking the place of those rain showers that we've seen today in spots. So that's why I say patchy morning fog with temperatures between 64 and 74 degrees and light winds. We'll talk about tomorrow afternoon and the full 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Scott. Montgomery County authorities say that a man accidentally shot himself at an indoor gun range today. We're told this happened around noon at the Gilbert Indoor Range in Rockville. Police say the man suffered serious injuries, but he's expected to be all right. An investigation is ongoing. One of your top stories, an Amazon delivery van went up in flames, spewing smoke high into the air in Arlington today. Look how intense those flames were, changing the van's color from blue to white near the engine. All unfolded on South Clark Street in Crystal City. Good news, nobody hurt. Firefighters believe the gas-powered van caught fire when the engine malfunctioned. Some more good news, no packages inside were damaged. Well, that sound certainly means DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Overnight, Democrats in Northern Virginia named a nominee to replace Congressman Jerry Connolly for the rest of his term. James Walkinshaw will face off against Republican nominee Stuart Whitson. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us live tonight in Fairfax. Dave, you spoke with both candidates in the race for the 11th congressional district seat. What do they have to tell you?
Well, what we can tell you right now is James Walkinshaw continues celebrating with his supporters behind me after he wrapped up his party's nomination, the Democratic bid, last night, which means that Walkinshaw will now face Republican Stuart Whitson in the fall. Walkinshaw spent 11 years as Connolly's chief of staff in his congressional office. Plus, he received the congressman's endorsement after Connolly announced he would not seek another term after his cancer diagnosis. Walkinshaw also serves on the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors. The other person who wants to fill Connolly's seat has never run for political office. But Stuart Whitson is not a stranger to the federal government. He's an Army veteran and a former FBI agent. Both say their experience makes them qualified to finish Jerry Connolly's term.
I know how to run the office. I know how to operate on the floor of the House in a committee hearing and in a committee markup, how to get legislative language inserted into a moving legislative vehicle to make progress for our community. So I'm prepared to do the job.
I've been on the Hill fighting to advance conservative policy. So I've been in the trenches on Capitol Hill actually doing the job that I'm applying for now. And so there is no candidate in the race, Democrat or Republican, who has as much real world experience as I do.
Great words from both candidates, but it's ultimately voters who will decide who fills the remainder of the late congressman's term, and they will do that September 9th. We're live in Fairfax. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Dave. In Virginia, the top of the Republican ticket is campaigning together for the first time next week in Vienna. Gubernatorial nominee Winsome Earl-Sears, Lieutenant Governor nominee John Reed, and incumbent Attorney General Jason Miyares will hold their first joint appearance. They'll be at the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department Tuesday night. Meanwhile, Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic nominee for governor, campaigns Tuesday as well. She will be in the Hampton Roads region. All right, D.C. residents are calling on City Hall to lower the volume. No, not on political rhetoric, but for revving engines and loud mufflers. Some people in Northwest are complaining about loud noise in their neighborhood, telling our Max Marcilla there's already a sound solution.
It's loud here along the Potomac Parkway 66 tunnel. Commuters and travelers routinely make their way in and out of the district, but it's at night when some say they hear the most problems.
It is loud. Think of a loud motorcycle with somebody's just revving his engine, or a car that doesn't have the muffler properly fixed.
Gregory Squires and Matt Lawler live right above this stretch of road and tell us they're constantly up in the middle of the night because of loud, disruptive cars.
Look at under my eyes, there are circles. So I've lost a lot of sleep.
Beyond personal inconvenience, they call the noise a health and safety issue, and they're even more frustrated because they feel a solution is right there.
We think we found a fairly cost-effective and simple solution that would be acoustic or noise cameras similar to the speed cameras that we have.
Noise cameras are a newer idea, but D.C. would be far from the first to do it. In fact, neighboring Montgomery County is in the midst of a pilot program now, and a D.C. council member actually proposed a similar program a few years ago.
It's really problematic when these vehicles are purposefully altered to remove parts of them to make them so much louder than they naturally are.
As we reported in 2023, Councilmember Brooke Pinto introduced a bill to start a noise camera pilot program. It never passed. Testimony from then interim director of DDOT Site's equity and technology concerns also saying while excessive noise can be a disruption to communities and present legitimate concerns, the focus of DDOT's automated enforcement program must remain safety. Speed cameras, which are across the district, an example of that.
They should be enforcing this.
Meanwhile, Squires and Lawler are urging district officials to reconsider and pilot noise cameras.
Let's get the trial up and let's do what other cities have done to successfully solve this problem.
In Northwest, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Well, the back and forth over a deal to bring the Commanders back to D.C. continues. Council members facing scrutiny for wanting more time to vote on the new RFK Stadium deal. Dates for some public hearings are on the books, but they do not meet Mayor Bowser's deadline of July 15th. Council Chair Phil Mendelson says the hearings will be on July 29th and 30th. He also filed a bill last week pulling the stadium deal out of the budget bill to make a standalone proposal for it. Mendelson says this does not put the funding in jeopardy, but Mayor Bowser says there is a small window of opportunity to get a deal over the finish line.
In all negotiations, there I think counter offers. The council has yet to make one. So I think the team, me and the team, will work all day and all night. We'll sit down with them whenever, wherever, and we will stay true to our agreement. It's important, however, that the agreement stays on time.
The legislation to make the RFK Stadium deal separate from the budget goes to a committee hearing set for Tuesday. Commanders responding, saying they're committed to working with the council around the clock to keep this project on schedule and deliver a world-class stadium for the district by 2030. Well, the last day of Pride Month is tomorrow, and Silver Spring celebrated the month today with Pride in the Plaza. This year's theme was "We will not be silenced, we will not be erased." The event marked and featured speakers, Pride Mini Ball, marketplace, local food vendors, and free STI testing, as well as vital resources. Coming up, saving cash during the summer months. The details on the deals to take advantage of right now. And keeping cool without AC. Old school architecture offering a place to beat the heat, just steps from the U.S. Capitol. Live look outside. You're watching DC News Now with Arlington off in the distance and even further, National Harbor. We'll be right back.